Hey guys, it's Charity from ALoopandAHook, and today I wanted to quickly film a pregnancy Q&A. You guys have asked me some questions that I thought would be good to answer, you know, kind of give you guys some more answers to things that you have been asking me. It's taken me a little while to get this together, so I'm currently 23 weeks pregnant right now, and there's a whole bunch of different questions we're going to just kind of go through and answer them. And if there's like any questions that I forget, anything like that, there were questions asked in so many different places, I'm going to just pull from my one post that I made asking for questions. And if I miss something or something doesn't come up and you want to know that answer, feel free to drop it in the comments below so I can answer that in a different video. So one of the first questions we got was, since I have come from a large family myself, has that influenced Colin and my wanting a large family, wanting children? I would say it probably has influenced it a bit, just because I'm so used to having children around, and it's something I've grown up with and learned to really enjoy having around. Honestly, as much as it's been great, you know, just Colin and I living in the apartment together, just the two of us, no children around, it can get a little lonely. And especially when he's gone at work all day and when I'm home. So it definitely has been a factor, or it was a big factor into deciding that we wanted to have kids. Even when we were still in the dating, engaged whole time period, we both decided that we both kind of wanted a large family. And I think for him it was partially hanging out around my family so much. Also, we just both really like kids, so having a larger family, or trying to have a large family, starting to have kids younger, was something that we both knew that we wanted. So the next question is, have we picked out some names? And we have a few names that we want. I don't want to name a kid until I've met the kid, you know, kind of gotten to hang out a little bit with the baby to see if what we like and what we've picked out is something that matches, you know, matches their character, even though I know that's a weird thing to explain when they're so young, but just to kind of see if the name suits them. But there are a few that both of us like and we've talked about, so I think we have names pretty well picked out, but you know, it might change and we might have the baby and be like, that name does not fit it at all, and then completely go in a different direction with that name. And then the next question is, how did we tell our families? So I told Mom through text. I just texted her. With my siblings, we made a little t-shirt or onesie that said that, like, a baby coming soon in February, and I wrapped that up with a pair of shoes, and we had one of the kids, I think Mary, opened it, and that was how we kind of told all the kids. I don't think they were completely expecting it, but you know, that's not always a bad thing. With Colin's parents and grandparents, we told his grandparents over the phone. His dad we texted because they both live further down south, so we don't see them all that frequently. And then we told his mom in person. And then with the rest of my family, you know, it just kind of happened. It was mostly texting. There weren't like a ton of people who we actually told like face to face. There were a couple, but it wasn't like anything super extravagant. We didn't really do that much for it. Just because I feel like most people were expecting it at that point. The next set of questions that I have is, have I been having any cravings? And there's really I haven't had a ton of cravings. The only craving I really had during the first, from like week 6 or 7 until like week 11, was ramen. Ramen was like a daily staple. That was the one thing I craved, and it was like one of the few things I could actually eat and not feel really crappy after eating. So that was really the only true craving. Everything else is just kind of, I crave protein and salt, or I don't know if crave is even the right word. They're both things that I really like. And anything sweet, I cannot eat anything that is super sweet because it makes me so sick. It's not even funny, and it's sad because there have been days where it's like, I really want something sweet, but if I eat it, I'm gonna feel really crappy afterwards. So that's been really the only craving that I've had this entire pregnancy so far. The same person asked how I've been sleeping, and I was sleeping pretty decently up until I reached, it was like 21 weeks, and now if I can get like 6 hours of sleep straight, it's a good night for me, because baby likes to move around a lot, and it wakes me up, it keeps me up, and then I don't fall asleep until later, which is not very normal for me. So it's just been something that has made it a little bit more of a struggle. So I normally wake up or go to bed, get my like 5-6 hours of sleep, give or take, and then I'm normally up for an hour or two and go take another 2 to 3 hour nap, and then that will hold me over through the day, which I've been really thankful for, because I need my sleep, and sleep makes me happy and not grumpy. So I've been thankful that I can get some sleep. The next question is, do I have a birth plan ready yet? And I don't have anything like written down, set in stone that I really want. I really feel like I'm underprepared at this point, but I know I have a little while to get things sorted out and ready. That being said, I kind of know in my brain what I want. I kind of know how I want things to play out and go, and I know I can't really control what happens, but there's just certain things that I've seen implemented with other births and other videos that I've watched, and things that I just really, really like. So I'm going to try to implement that. Maybe I'll get something written up. Knowing me, I'm the procrastinator. I'll probably wait until I'm like really far along, and then it'll never happen. But it's worth a shot, and mentally I know what I want. So the answer is yes and no. I know what I want, but I also don't have anything like written down, set in stone. The final question that this viewer asked was, have I had any morning sickness? Did I have a lot of morning sickness? And in the beginning, through like week 13 or 14, I had a lot of morning sickness. It wasn't awful, like I wasn't throwing up, but just things made me nauseous, and it was like almost constantly nauseous. That's why I could only eat the ramen, and that was just not a fun thing to go through, because you know, it's never fun feeling like you have to throw up and you're sick. So I did have it. I thankfully haven't really had it too much since then. Now the thing I get is, if I eat anything really spicy, I get heartburn. So that's not fun. I like spicy food, so it's kind of sad that I can't really eat them, or if I eat them then I have to deal with heartburn afterwards, but it could be a whole lot worse. So the next question is, what has surprised me the most about pregnancy? And so far, I would probably say, especially after this entire week, would be the amount of pain that kind of comes with it, even before you go into labor. I feel like I have a pretty high pain tolerance, but just Braxton Hicks and things like that I'm getting, especially now that baby's kicking, moving around, things like that, like stretching, and then like my belly stretching has hurt, and then the back pain has been awful. So that was one thing. I mean, I knew from being around Mom when she was pregnant that there was back pain and things like that, but I don't think I fully understood how much actual pain goes into it, into like growing a baby, not just giving birth, because I'm not even to that point yet, but just growing a baby. It is painful. It's not unbearable, but it is painful. And so ice has become my best friend for my back when I, after a long day of doing things, and I've just been kind of living with everything else. Also, one thing that has kind of surprised me is when the baby's moving around. This baby is kind of, it seems like very high energy, and it likes to kick me a lot. And when it is active and when it's awake and kicking me, it is very much kicking me. So that has also been something that's, you know, the first time it was really weird feeling it, but now it's kind of something I've gotten used to, but I don't think I was fully expecting that. Somebody asked me if I've started making a blanket for baby yet, and I have not. I have been busy with a lot of other things. You know, I've been working on preserving food, learning more homemaking skills, you know, kind of more homesteading, honestly, skills, and also with my photography classes that I'm teaching, I'm kind of keeping pretty busy. Also with sleeping half the day, or what feels like half the day, I'm keeping pretty busy, so I haven't had a ton of time to start to work on that, but I might work on one. I don't know yet. I haven't gotten to that point, but we might work on one. One of the questions that I've seen asked a couple of times is if we were going to find out the gender of the baby. So we did have an ultrasound 2 weeks ago. Yes, it was 2 weeks ago. We had our ultrasound done, and we did not find out the gender of the baby. We don't want to know. Both Colin and I don't want to know. Kind of just want to wait until I give birth to find out. So we didn't find out with that, which, you know, it's kind of like up until you have it, you're like, do you want to? Do you not want to? But it's been something that we both kind of agreed on, and I think we're both super happy that we didn't find out, and that we're going to wait another 17 weeks or so to find out. So this set of questions isn't necessarily completely pregnancy related, but I'll include it here. So do we live in the same town as our family? And we do live very close to them, and that's been really helpful, because I can go down when Colin is in work, because I can go down, I can hang out with him when I get lonely or anything like that up at the house, and that's been really, really nice. That's it. And that same person asked if I'm planning on being a homemaker and a stay-at-home mom with the baby, and if I'm planning on homeschooling. So I am planning on being a stay-at-home mom and completely staying home with the baby. I am planning on having like a business on the side, doing my photography on the side as sort of a side income, but not a full-time job, probably not even a part-time job, but just so I have another way to be able to take in some income. And then homeschooling is a ways away, but right now both Colin and I have decided that we feel like that's the way we're going to go, but we still got a while before we actually get to that, you know, cross that bridge of whether we're homeschooling or not. So when we get there in probably like 4 or 5 years, we'll really decide then and see if we want to go forward with homeschooling or if we want to choose a different method of education. Another popular question has been, are we having a home birth? Are we going to a birthing center? Are we going to a hospital? Kind of what are our plans for where we're giving birth? And as of right now, we're planning on giving birth in our apartment. Obviously that depends on how far I go, if I reach the 36-week mark, different things like that. Preliminarily, the ultrasound, the anatomy scan looked good, so there's nothing there that would prohibit us from having it at home so far. So that's all looking good, but home birth is the plan. If not, there's also a birthing center and a women's hospital pretty close to us. So we do have options if a home birth doesn't work out. But tentatively for now, we're going to be having a home birth. So someone asked if there are twins on either side of our family. And I know on my side of the family there aren't twins, and I don't believe there's any on Colin's side of the family. At least there's none that I know of. And when we did the anatomy scan, there's definitely only one. So I don't think there's any twins. I really was hoping we weren't going to have twins. And, you know, I would still be happy even if we were having twins. But just to me, having twins seems like really a lot of work. And it's not that I'm afraid of hard work, but I feel like if I had the choice to choose, having one at a time is something that I would rather do, rather go through, instead of having two at a time or more to, you know, train and take care of and things like that. And to all of you who have twins, I greatly admire you, because I have no idea, absolutely no idea how you guys do it, because just growing one baby has been hard enough. I don't know how you guys even went through growing two. So many kudos to you guys. So the last question that I have for today's Q&A is going to be, are we planning on moving into a larger apartment? So before the baby's born, we're not planning on moving into a larger apartment, just because this is pretty adequate for what we need, besides the lack of storage for things. It's big enough that we should have plenty of room for the first couple of months, as like a bassinet and things like that don't take up that much room. But after that, we're going to have to start looking into either a larger apartment. We do want to end up buying a house at some point. So either one of those two things, I'd say probably within the next year or so, are going to have to happen in order, you know, to really compensate for a growing baby, the kind of more equipment, even though I'm not planning on getting a ton of equipment for the baby. As I'm growing up with babies, I kind of know what I want, what I will use, things like that. But definitely a larger apartment will be in the future, just not before the baby is coming, or at least I don't foresee us moving before the baby comes. So we'll get a bigger place eventually, just not right now. So thank you all for watching this pregnancy Q&A video. I hope this has answered some of your guys' questions about my pregnancy so far, what our plans are a little bit into the future, and I hope it gives you like some more insight into what's kind of been going on, because I know I've been kind of missing from the YouTube world for a little while. For those of you who have asked, Colin and I did put together a registry, and for those of you who have been kind enough to already get things off of that registry, we are going to be doing, or at least the tentative plan right now is going to be a virtual baby shower. So I think I'm going to do like a YouTube live or something like that, and where we'll open everything up. Everything I've gotten so far I have not opened, so kind of like a baby shower in my own home that you guys can all watch if you would like to. So I will link that down below so you can look it up with all the information. Please do not feel obligated to get anything off of there. Just simply, if you want to know, for those of you who have asked, we did want to put something together for those of you who feel that it'd be a blessing and wanted to do that. Thank you all for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below, and we'll see you for our next video. Bye!